Hello everybody and welcome to the penultimate episode of the Kamidogu podcast for 2022. I am Christopher Beljanovsky, and with me as always is the man, the myth, the legend, Toasty.
Toasty!
Joining us today is an incredible woman whose contribution to Mortal Kombat 11 is nothing short of breathtaking. Episode 39 continues our string of interviews with empowering and highly talented women. We can't wait to get started, so Toasty, take it away.
Thanks for being here today, combatants. Mortal Kombat has always been known for its secrets and its mysterious background characters. Whether it's originally Reptile, Smoke, or otherwise, one character who has always been shrouded in mystery that had left fans most eager with her whereabouts was the rumored Skarlet. Speculated by fans with alleged photo leaks in MK2, she had to be around somewhere. Skarlet finally made her playable debut appearance much later in the franchise. But it was not until 2019's Mortal Kombat 11 that Skarlet's character would truly be fleshed out and brought to life with her own unique flavor and enticing personality. Today, we have the distinct pleasure to be speaking with Beata Poźniak. Beata voiced Skarlet in this very successful game and brought forward a large amount of new Skarlet fans around the globe. The character was warmly received throughout the community, and Beata was gifted enough to be presented a Best Voiceover award for her work in this title. Therefore, Kamidogu is gifted in our own right to have the pleasure of speaking with such an accomplished and extraordinary woman. We're happy you hopped along for the show, and with that being expressed, let's now continue to today's interview. All right, everyone, and here we are, joined by the lovely Beata Poźniak. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, to begin this interview, tell our audiences how you were originally introduced to Mortal Kombat. Had you heard or even played any of the games before auditioning for Skarlet?
I, of course, heard about Mortal Kombat, one of the most successful games of all times. But I have not been in a video. Having said that, actually, I have been in one video game before Mortal Kombat, and that was Psychic Detective. One of the first ones, experimental games. It was more of a interactive mystery game that used a lot of live action footage.
Right.
And it was a huge game. There were like 20 game developers and 100 actors and probably another 100 people on the film crew, and it felt like a feature film. And there were so many versions of the game that one version was actually shown at Sundance Film Festival. But what was great about that game is that it was something called interactive acting. So the player could make my character become sweet, innocent, or malicious. Yes. I had to look directly into the camera lens, and if the player chose for me to be sweet or seductive, I actually lean in and kiss the camera lens.
Oh, wow.
Love it.
Or if he wanted me to be, naughty, so I had to pick the lens. So this was the type of video games I was part of, and that there was a I was more acting in front of the camera for many years. And then became that magical call from my agent asking, would I be interested in doing a video game? And I said, sure, I would love to get into video games. And she said, okay. So she sent me first an NDA. I was not allowed to know what it is. And it was a character. It was called Tech Mage. So I thought, okay, so probably just one of many techie people that are part of a game. Maybe they need someone exotic sounding or from another planet, and just one of many people. And so with very little expectations, I just thought, wow, this is what will get me in, right, into that world, and why not? So I thought that maybe I need to do more research, like get into programming. Just something, I started, thinking about how these techie people might look like and sound like, and
Sure,
to get that sound. But how do they sound? So anyway, we sent it in, and then soon after that, she said, well, they would love to meet with you. And I said, oh, great. So when I actually met with the team, I did not know really what it was. Then I was introduced that it was Mortal Kombat. I said, Mortal Kombat? That's like legendary. I mean, really? And so here I am thinking I'm just going to be one of, I'm going to do my few, like 4 lines and thank you. And then hopefully one day they'll come back to me and say, hey, would you like to do a bigger part or something? Right? That's how it started. So, but then I meet, I meet Dominic, who is the director, and Amanda. That was my first meeting. And they started to explain the character actually that had a name, Skarlet. I'm thinking, I thought I'm playing a tech mage. So then suddenly Skarlet, it had a name. So that means it's a bigger role. And I had no idea how many lines, how big of the part, nothing. So that was the beginning of this incredible journey, really, to this badass woman.
Yes. Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah. And that was actually my next question. I was going to ask, because we spoke to Melaline a few episodes ago, and she said that she was reading for a character called Guard A. So it's interesting to hear that pretty much everyone didn't know who they were actually reading for until the end. And for what it's worth, when I first loaded up the Mortal Kombat 11 demo and Skarlet was a playable character, I absolutely love what you've done with her voice. And I honestly think that adds so much more to the character.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah, I loved, I will never forget my first meeting in the studio at Warner Brothers. They showed me the character, how they envisioned her, and that was so helpful to just seeing the visuals, how they saw her, just helped me with finding a voice for her. And Dominic was just so wonderful in terms of explaining the history, where Skarlet began as a intriguing glitch with a deliciously menacing energy, So the way he was talking about it, I wanted to capture that. And I just love that she is this mysterious warrior with special powers given to her
Yes.
by Shao Kahn, and it was just lovely. It was lovely being in the studio and start developing and co-creating the character with the director. And when I saw, Skarlet, previous Skarlet and the new Skarlet, my first reaction was I saw they were looking for my reaction, and they say, and I said, I want her skins. I'm sorry, but I do like this. It was so amazing, and so just I just wanted to be her. It was just great. It was just great. So it
Incredible.
was fantastic. Yeah. So
Yeah.
and I wanted to give her just this voice, which was in a way a combination of mystery and some kind of a sense of being a powerful threat to all her adversaries. So it was just wonderful process in searching, and there's a lot of just like Skarlet was searching in the very beginning of who she is. I felt in a similar way as someone also is searching to find a voice for her. Skarlet was also trying to find a new voice for herself, since she was a throwaway. So we had similar paths, I would just say, in doing this process.
Yeah, how did it feel being the first to make, her mark, really?
Gosh, she, for me, is, first of all, it's an honor. It really is a true honor. And because she, for me, means much more than anything. I think now that I see how fans responded to the character, I think many people identify with her because she was an orphan. She came from nowhere, and she was a throwaway, and many of us can relate to that. We've been at one time or another, we had all felt abandoned,
Sure.
not loved, not wanted. And that is Skarlet. So Skarlet gives hope. She gains strength, and she finds her strength, therefore gives us all that hope. And now giving that voice, it's so symbolic. From this voiceless throwaway, suddenly we gain strength and we have voice. So that's why this character has so much more in such a symbolic, deeper level. And I think people realize that on a deeper level in themselves. It's them. It's us. I felt like that, and I can for sure identify with that feeling. So finding that voice means so much, and bringing to life a character that has an impact on the larger ecosystem of Mortal Kombat universe means a lot. And I'm so proud to be part of that, and to kind of be the symbol. Skarlet is the symbol of hope in a way, and power, and be the badass, the unpredictable and unstoppable energy. And that's what we all need in life. We need to feel in those moments of being down that we can do it. And that's who she is for me. She's unstoppable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautifully stated, Beata.
Beautiful.
Wow.
So when it came to recording her lines, how much of her sound actually came from your influence and how much was directed by the studio? Because in some of her lines, for instance, she actually almost sounds like hungry for blood. Like I get that feeling when she actually speaks. She's
You said that.
Yeah.
I love you said that. This is the direction actually Dominic was giving me. Exactly what you said. I want her bloodthirsty. Give me that. And I loved working with Dominic. He is, by walking into the studio and knowing the game, which is so high energy and, it's on a go and a go and a go and on a high. Here is Dominic, who is so soft-spoken, quiet, nurturing, great. He's a great listener. And, it was just so fabulous to work with him. He just tunes in with you and just feeds you what he needs. And you give it back to him because he's so clear in what he wants. So it felt very, in a way, easy to be in that environment, and you just fall into the character. You just, in a way, you feed off each other. He tells you what he wants, you feed him back, and just to be like Skarlet, you are just hungry and bloodthirsty. So you actually, I'm so glad you said that, because that's exactly what the director and the team was after.
So what would you say are actually some of your favorite Skarlet lines from the game that you can recall? If you're up to it, we'd love to hear some.
Toxic insect.
That's so good.
Let me see. Upset that I nicked your vein?
Yes.
Amazing.
Oh, that's so good.
I love that. So it's so great. It's great. Yeah. I will bleed you from every pore.
Chris, did you get chills? I got chills.
I am actually so scared right now. Well, that's my next question. My next question, I was actually going to ask if you share any personality traits with Skarlet, but I feel like when you speak, you just ooze Skarlet. Like, I'm sure you're not hungry for blood, but you're just like, you embody the character so well. Even speaking to you now, I'm floored that you can just perform like that on the fly.
Yeah.
Well, let me see. I think the traits. I think being unpredictable. Life is unpredictable. We plan things, but it is just unpredictable. And I think Skarlet is unpredictable. I definitely, as a woman, I'm unpredictable. And I love, I think we love forbidden behaviors. I think everybody loves to be a little naughty now and then. So that's
You only live once, right?
that's right.
True.
So I think those kind of things. Also, I enjoyed seeing Skarlet during the Cold War. And I don't know if you guys know, coming from Eastern Europe, I went through the Cold War.
Mm.
Oh.
Yep. So these
Wow.
are very similar. I actually lived through that.
Oh my.
Besides red hair, I love red, orange colors. It resembles fire, but also fire within. I think
Yes.
I can identify with that little fire. I love. Let's see. Also, it's interesting. Red color. I always loved the bright colors. Some experts actually say that the red color is associated with our physical needs and our will to survive, which is I
Wow.
find very interesting. And
Yeah.
yeah, and so therefore, Cold War, we are survivors. So you're asking things that we
Mm.
share. We are survivors, and both Scarlet and I am, and many of us actually. So red is powerful. It's energizing. It excites us and it motivates us to take action. So when we see red, orange, the fire, I think Scarlet, when she was introduced, that fire within was perfect.
Mm.
And she is actually brilliantly created, brilliantly, very daring, um, in a real way. Blood, more blood in that sense. For some, blood can be very scary,
Sure.
but right, and for others, it can actually symbolize extreme passion
Mm.
and being alive. So, and I know that in the dream world, it means transformation, and it shows that life is cyclical. So,
Mm.
so Scarlet, that's, for me, Scarlet, and for all of us, it's all cycles. We feel nobody, and then suddenly we feel empowered. It's the fighting game of life, and this is who we are. So she is perfect.
Brilliant.
Sure.
So you've said it was absolutely wonderful working with Dominic Cianciolo. How was it? Say, I'm gonna highly assume you worked a decent or amount with Ed Boon. Was there anybody else in the studio that you have really, really fond memories with?
Well, it's so interesting because I've never met Ed Boon.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
really?
Wow.
I
Wow.
would love
Wow.
to. The only interaction, if this was an interaction, is I got a tweet from him. Congratulations on Scarlet and the award. So that was
Yeah.
nice. But I know he's creating, is busy, and so my part. Scarlet was mostly with Dominic and the team at Warner Brothers in the studio. And in the first meeting, we had Amanda, another co-director, but after that was Dominic, and it was just oh man, it's these are the times where the clock stops, the time stops. It just you want to be in that studio all the time. Once you love the character and love the people around, you don't know if it's 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. It's just fantastic.
That's fair.
So when
Yeah.
you recorded your lines, was that largely done in the United States, or did you do anything at home, say in Europe, at all?
No, everything. I live in Los Angeles,
Okay. Okay.
so to Warner Brothers, it's just it's very close, and so yeah, everything was done in Los Angeles.
So looking back at the story mode specifically, you were in a few scenes for sure. Was there any particular moment in the story with Scarlet that you thought really, really stood out that you were most proud of?
Wow. Oh my gosh. I I love all my scenes. All those
That's
lines.
the spirit.
Oh gosh, I love the ending, in the tower mode in the end.
Oh, right, yeah.
The ending where let me see, where she says, I'll have rivers of blood shed in my name, purging heretics who dare to reject me. Like
Fantastic.
So I love that scene, that power, hunger, to tap into that energy, the power hungry. It just was awesome the way it was written, and love that scene. I love. This was kind of beautiful. Another scene. Better to thrive in Shao Kahn's court than starve on the streets. When she's walking, and it's when she is about to torture Jade and then Kitana. Oh
Yes.
my gosh! Wow. So and I loved. I was actually very moved and really surprised when I saw Skarlet as an artist in the scene, friendship.
Yes, the friendship.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was, I was really, it was a home run because it was so close to my heart. And I don't know, from any project I have ever done, this meant so much to me because this moment of friendship, it just on a personal level, I actually have a studio and I paint. And
Look at that.
from sculpting to painting to, even in the background, you see actually a painting. This is like all the races in a woman's body. This is just a copy of that. It's called Mnemosyne. It's from mythology, Mnemos, Mnemonos, memory. It's going back to the past, memory of who we are as a race or races. It's just about all the races in a woman's body in the planet Earth. And so, and she's the mother of all muses. And then I actually, I was so moved to get so much love from the fans. I was not big on social media first, before Mortal Kombat. And then I noticed on Twitter, there was so much love and excitement and questions from the fans. I was so moved when they were sending drawings, sketches, some animations of Skarlet and what it means to them. I just couldn't believe it. There's so much excitement and around Skarlet, and I just felt like I want to give something back. I just wanted to if I could, I would hug each one of you guys. I just wanted. Really, there was. I haven't experienced so much love and the fans like reaching out like this. So I thought I would just I thought I would just make my own drawing for them, of Skarlet.
Oh wow!
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoa!
That's
So
incredible.
this is my Skarlet. This is actually Skarlet's self-portrait.
Ah.
Look
Wow,
at
that's
that.
incredible.
Yeah, and it's so interesting. So this is a copy. The bigger one is framed over there. But so it was interesting. Some fans said, "Oh, why did you pick her in that moment? Why she's so sad that's exactly when she is nobody." And I thought, this is exactly what we should always remember, to be humble. And no matter how much power we have in life, we should never forget where we came from.
Mm.
And this is just a reminder of how humble it is, how important it is to be grateful and humble. And this is what it means to me, and Skarlet.
Well said.
So that's why it's just so beautiful to interact with fans. I'm so grateful for fans, and I really love them. When I flew to Poland, now I'm actually in Poland, and we had a meeting here with just the audience and talking about new projects and poetry, and I mean, I couldn't believe it. I had, in Poland, actually, what it turns out, there's no Polish version of Mortal Kombat. So here I see these people come from different cities, from the south of Poland, north of Poland. They come dressed as Skarlet, and they just want. They want a picture, and they say, you don't know how much it means to me. They bring pictures and say, please sign it. I say, well, what would you like me to sign? And they go, blood for blood. They know the language. They know the lines in English language. I am so proud. The impact, even in Poland, it's, unbelievable. So this is how powerful this character is, and just seeing how much it means to others. There's no better award really for an actor to experience. Once you see how much it means for others, how they identify with your character, is priceless.
And just to be clear, you don't offer autographs or paint in blood, is that correct?
Do I paint in blood?
No. No.
Sorry. What did you say? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Just to be clear, you don't, right? That's not something you do?
No, not in blood, but I would be surprised if somebody would bring their blood, and
yeah. That's taking things a bit too far, I think.
Things happened in my life, so
yeah.
But just because of what Skarlet, symbolizes, that power and not giving up in hard times, not giving up, being fearless no matter what, and being the unstoppable and able to protect herself and the community. She's very loyal. So I think it says something to people.
Yeah. While taking on this amazing character, what would you consider to be your biggest challenge?
On taking on Skarlet?
Yeah, was it difficult to kind of fall into that role, or did you just feel comfortable just, being directed by Dom and just, getting into it? And
well, since all my life I was acting in front of the camera, voicing a video game is very different than working on a movie. So when you are recording a scene with another character, you are actually performing alone in the studio. You are delivering lines without seeing your scene partner. So voice acting looks very easy, but it's really, I would say, even a higher level of exercising your imagination, performance, and craft, because you have to imagine the character. So you are delivering those lines with somebody in front of you that is not there. So I think that is a challenge. That is a challenge. You don't see anybody except the mic, and then far away behind the glass, you see far away bunch of people who who direct you, who listen to you. So sometimes, often the way it works, you give them 3 or 4 takes of the same line. So they listen, and it's kind of a little dance. You give them a little less, a little more, because you don't know how the other actor will actually respond to those lines. So you have to give them 3 or 4 lines, and they have a very challenging role because they have to match us up in the delivery, in the emotion. So what you hear, it's a phenomenal dialogue, as if both of us would be in the same room while we are not.
Yeah.
So that is, I would say, a challenge.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's where I think it's a higher level of a challenge, and one has to be really skilled, I would say, voice wise and acting wise, to be able to foresee what the team is after, what the director wants.
Wow, that's most interesting. So clearly, you had no real like interaction with any of the other voice actors or voice actresses. Did you, by chance, have you ever worked with any of the other cast from the game, or do you know any of them?
I wish I would. You see, all the other actors, they know each other. They've been in so many games together. They know each other. They're like a family. So in a way, part of me feels like real Skarlet left out sometimes because I'm over there somewhere. I'm new, trying to get in. So I actually have met sometimes. A few times, actually, I have met Richard Epcar, because he would record his lines before me. So we would quickly say hello, and I would kind of laugh to him. Oh, hello, Joker. And and so we would kind of, just kind of tease each other. And so that was very nice. I loved meeting him and talking to him. And he's such a pro. I came in earlier just looking behind that glass and the way he delivers lines. And it's just such an inspiration. It's wonderful. So so that is great. And but the time will come. Maybe we'll meet. Hopefully I'll be invited to a con and where everybody is, and we can meet. And maybe, there's so many badass women there, and maybe, oh my gosh, wouldn't that be great to have the badass women of Mortal Kombat or something,
That would be good.
Like a panel or something, because all of them are what a great women, in Mortal Kombat. All of them in their own way are such a badass women, and I love that.
Yes.
It seems like the players too.
It's just a matter of time. It's going to happen, one of these days. And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, you're here to stay, Beata. You were so amazing in the role. We're all keeping our fingers crossed you're going to be in the next Mortal Kombat game or more to come, because it was just sensational.
Gosh. I would love that. I would love that more than anything. And I would love to continue to play Skarlet in whatever form she may inhabit. And just playing that badass with bloodthirsty energy is just awesome.
With that being said, there is in fact a buzz, within the community since the announcement of Mortal Kombat Onslaught, which is a new mobile game set to release worldwide in 2023. After its recent soft launch in some Asian markets, It seems that Skarlet is indeed featured in the game. Have you recorded anything specifically for this title?
Did you say that she is in the game? In that
I believe
ensemble?
so. I believe
Yeah?
so, yeah.
So I am always the last one to know. I find out things from fans. There's always leaks. How did you guys know? I don't. I don't know. Sometimes you record, and the creators, they already know ahead. Often, what will be happening. So sometimes we record not necessarily just for the upcoming segment or story mode. They already plan ahead. So it could be that when I was recording, they already knew. But we actors, we often don't know. We have NDAs, we have all that. So
Yeah.
I'm just so happy. If I would be, I would be thrilled.
Very
Nice.
good.
Yeah.
So outside of voicing Skarlet in Mortal Kombat 11, you provided your talent to movies, TV, audiobooks, and much more. As you've shown us as well, you're also an amazing painter. And I believe you're a poet as well, from what I understand. Do you have a favorite amongst all of them?
I feel like an octopus. Like Scarlet with tentacles. She has huge in all these things: poetry, painting, acting, right? So, I love them all. They're part of me. All of these, like Shiva, all these hands. I love them all, and I am a little bit a unsettled soul, and so I have to keep all the time creating, all the time. I am just this person that is, in her own way, unstoppable. I just love life. I love seeing what's new, what's possible, what else can we do together, what else is needed, for what else, where can I contribute, who need, it just all the time. I'm a seeker, it's just this, on this earthly walk, you want to taste life as much as possible, and we are very fortunate when we are given this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I love
mean,
it all.
Yeah, I have an interesting question. What advice would you give to somebody looking to delve into the world of voiceover work?
Oh, wow. I think it is important to get to know your own instrument, own voice. If it's going to singing lessons, music lessons, even to be able to play with your voice, do staccato, legato with the vowels, see where it takes you. We are all built in a different way. I would recommend studying other pioneers' paths, like Alfred Wolfson or Roy Hart, Chekhov, Stanislavski, Jerzy Grotowski, who had an amazing, who taught the body and vocal imagination techniques. And I think by learning other people's paths, you will create your own. You'll take something from everybody and create your own, because we are all unique and different. So it is important to learn also about body, psychology, about movement, because movement will affect our voice. So it's not only, from here, how I can imitate someone. It's also how our body can affect our voice, how emotion, when I'm sad, how I am suddenly after a fight, breath is different. I need to work on my diaphragm, so, or work on, for example, we did, I loved, one of my favorites is a headstand, where you relax and go all through the vowels here. We have 8 vowels, for example, in Poland. So you go through the vowels, a, or, you go all, and you loosen everything up, and that's where the natural voice will come in. You work on the, look at the where it resonates, head, chest, arms, you'd play all these games with the body, and you'll find new things within yourself. And the process of discovery, what a human body can create and its potential, it's phenomenal. I mean, I think that's why what excited me about acting first is that the human potential, if you tap in, there's so many fantastic things to discover. I feel like a kid, it's just it's just endless there. It's just to tap in and find it and play with it. Have fun in the process. And sometimes we can be blocked. So it's good to find, a little read up on psychology. What is it that blocked us there? What is it? Is it something emotional? So just like Skarlet, I'm laughing here, but what to do to overcome that and say, no, go away. I hear that thought. It's only a thought. Okay, thought, I hear you, but go away. Now let me proceed with what I need to accomplish. So it's all those things that it all will come together. And not to be discouraged, it's a show business, not it's a business after all. It's for a reason called show business, not show art, for example. So it is important not to get discouraged, because we are constantly rejected for one reason or the other, which has often nothing to do with you, me, or, it's just life. But I read some time ago that, for example, about tigers. So I love to study animals, and it's very helpful in acting, by the way, because every animal has their own little traits and feelings and postures. Right. So you can learn about their physique, and sometimes you can take that on into a character. Just take on their skin, right? So tiger, for example, only get their prey less than 10% of the time, but they just keep on hunting. Same with humans. We keep going. We keep trying, and that makes us stronger. So never get discouraged. Be a tiger.
Wow, I love it.
That's incredible. So you mentioned it a little earlier, but how did it feel to win an award for Best Voiceover in the 7th Annual Voice Arts Awards back in 2020?
I want to cry actually here, because I don't know. I first of all, I was speechless and very honored to receive such a fantastic recognition from your own peers. So I'm moved because of the fact that English is my second language. And for me and other immigrants like me, we have been often overlooked. However, our industry is becoming more open and diverse, and I'm very proud of that. So So that is why this particular award is, and recognition means so much, and shows to others that it is possible, and I hope I'm not the first, and I'm not the last. I definitely am the first, but I hope I'm not the last. And
Absolutely.
it's just a beginning, and I just see, and I really am grateful to the team and Mortal Kombat, because it's such when it comes to diverse casting and inclusion, I dare to say they are the first. Because, having immigrants, having people where their second language is English, please name me others, that have leading, that are not guard number 4 because they speak Russian or something, right? Show me. Show me. Please show me. And this is where, gratitude spelled with a capital G is in place. Because it's like, I hear that from other actors that immigrated for a better or safer life to other countries like America, because that is the country that gives hope. And it just shows that the world and filmmaking and video games are changing, and they are after authenticity and embracing the unknown, the new characters, which I feel so I feel embraced now. I feel I can be part of the family, the Mortal Kombat family, in such a proud way. And I am, just by getting this recognition, I feel like I lived up to, I just feel like I got a break, and getting that acknowledged, that I lived up to their brand, that I just, in a very humble way, I just feel so good, about that, and it just means a lot. So
you were everything we could ever ask for and more. You were absolutely phenomenal. So thank you so much for your work.
Thank you.
On that.
Thank you.
And
so
I agree.
much.
I think it's such an iconic portrayal. I mean, everyone who worked on the game are professionals, and everyone did a great job. But there's something about your Skarlet that is so very special.
Amen.
And that will live on now forever. So,
yeah.
Thank you so much. I just love this woman. I don't think you can tell, though.
just slightly.
Now, furthermore, you were born in Poland, and yet you yourself were successful in the introduction of the first bill in the history of U.S. Congress to officially recognize International Women's Day in the United States. Tell us why exactly this was so important to you.
It is a day that I grew up with. I was very proud that we had this day. At that time, when I was a little girl, I didn't understand the meaning, but there was something special that around us. We were getting cards and flowers, and boys were saying, "Well, Happy Women's Day," and we were just girls. It was something. It made me feel special. And then later on, when I was in high school and then college, it had a bigger meaning. I understood more about it, that how women, that day in particular is much more than flowers and a card. It really is, it's going back to the suffragettes, to fighting for your own rights, for rights as a woman. But because 100 years ago, it looks recent, but in times of my grandmother, women were not allowed to study. They were not allowed to belong to a library. They were not allowed to go to college, to get an education. So this day symbolically for me means a lot. It's just like as a reminder where we have been where we are now and what we can become. Because even now, when you look at, let's say, our business, in, when you watch Oscars, it's nearly 100 years of, we have the Oscars it's the history of the Academy of giving out Oscars. Well, how many women so far received the Best Director Award as an Oscar? In 100 years, 3. We have a lot, the same when it comes to Nobel Prize winning women in literature. I think there's 114 men, and I think there's only like 19 women, right, in literature. It's just, we don't think about it. That's why it is important to me, the way women are represented. And, sometimes when they send me a script and they say, what would you like to play? There's so many great parts. And I'm looking at the script and I go, I want to play John, because John has something to play. Mary is just like, oh, what would you like to eat today? So it's this, I want to play a character. I would like to also say something, have great lines, and not just to look nice and pretty, because it's been done, and I think we are worth more, and we
Absolutely.
have much more to say. And I think it's time to give women a voice. And that's why I'm so proud, in a way, that I got Skarlet, because it's so symbolic. She was voiceless before. And maybe somewhere up there's a reason the universe selected me to give her a voice. I mean, it's so strange to say that, but I don't know, I get chills when I say that, but it's just so symbolic. It's giving so symbolically this woman, this Skarlet, a voice, just like in real life, we're giving women a voice. So that is why International Women is important to me. I never knew, as an immigrant coming to this country, because many countries around the world celebrate International Women's Day. And I did work with the mayor of Los Angeles, the governor, and the Congress of introducing the very first bill in the history of the United States. It was in 1994, where it was first introduced, House Joint Resolution 316. There's a number there. I am very proud as an immigrant with where I had to learn English, to learn about the system and to survive and to find my own role models. And when I came here to this country, I was trying to find out, well, who could be my role models? Everybody was saying, oh, it's a country of immigrants, welcome. Well, I'm thinking, I really need to see who before me so I can look up, and someone that paved the way, someone that, give me a chance so I can say, you made it. So hopefully I have a chance too. Well, I saw Andrew Carnegie. I saw Einstein that came on a boat here in 1993. I saw, so the list goes on for men. But where are the women? And that's why I decided to spearheaded a campaign and say, let's raise awareness. So I was actually producing some events for like 10 years, just to raise awareness that this day is important. And I brought in the unsung heroes, the people that are behind scenes that don't need recognition, that they are doing things for the good of the planet, of the earth, and for the good of humanity. And we would honor those people internationally. So I had people from, if it's Vietnam, if it's Colombia, if it's Uganda, just people that are here, immigrants, women immigrants, that achieved something here thanks to being in this great country. And I brought in then celebrities, from Stevie Wonder to Diane Lane to Miranda Richardson to Paul Sorvino, and the list goes on. So they can, and oh my gosh, Robert Wise, who is my hero. Anyway, so they would honor them for what they have done as immigrants, because we need to remember there is a reason it's called International Women's Day, because we need to include more people that are from other countries. There are immigrants. Mm-hmm. This is our adopted home, our new mother called America. And we're very grateful that we are safe, we can be here, and we are given opportunities. So I am very grateful for being here.
Very well said.
Very, very powerful. Wow. Well, Beata, we're going to switch things up a little bit here. We're going to go to the last segment of the show, and it is called
Final Round.
So what we're going to do in this final round is we're going to ask you some quick questions, try to get to know you a little more. And so the first question being, if you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Almonds.
Almonds. Mm. Okay.
Or blueberries fresh from the forest.
Oh, nice. I know. That's the only way to have them. It's the only way to have them in my eyes. Yeah. Do you have any nicknames by chance?
Well, believe it or not, in Poland, they called me Betty.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, everybody called me Betty here in Poland, or Becia. So you betcha. It's Becia. It's funny.
That's good.
Beata, if for example, Robert is Bob or Bobby, right? So Beata in Poland, it's Beatka, Beateczka, Beatuncia. So if you're close to someone, you have all these little names: Beatka, Beatunia, Beateczka, and only close to you people call you that. So it's usually Becia, Beateczka, Beatka, or Becia. So that's how they call me here. And I was called redhead. When I was born, it was flaming red hair. And I remember my mother it was like brick red. And my mother would be stopped on the streets. And, in those days, they would just, it was not acceptable. And people coming up and said, how can you, color your daughter's hair at that age? And it was just my natural hair, flaming red. I mean, it was just such a red color, and it looked very golden, almost carrot. So I was called Ruda, which means redhead. Ruda.
Interesting.
Yeah. In school, go to Ruda.
If you really had to think about it, what would you say was the bravest thing you've ever done?
I think have guts to go to the Congress and call the White House about Women's Day as an immigrant, because they were thinking that I was talking about Women's History Month while I was trying to say it's a Women's Day. So for someone to provide on that level proof of the history in other countries. I'm a foreigner, so I think that it was it took courage, I would say, and I think that.
Wow! Well, bravo. What is your favorite genre of music?
Classic rock.
Nice.
Name some of your favorite artists.
Oh gosh, I grew up with the Beatles, so the Beatles. Listen, I even have photographs. I had at that time they would say fringe, which was the bangs. Like the Beatles. I had the haircut. There. So they in Britain they would call that would be the fringe, right? Here you call bangs. So their head haircuts, and I would all those colors and dresses and like a little zipper and the flaming colors were just so exciting as a kid, looking up to the Beatles, and loved it. I loved their music, and just felt very freeing and very just fun. It was a lot of fun, on the streets, and you can feel the freedom and the vibe.
Very nice. Here's an interesting one. If you could have any superpower for one day, what would you choose and why?
Being a swoosh girl, meaning if I could just swoosh with a hand and be a healer with, people, heal people, whatever they just come in and go with a kiss.
Nice.
Like that. I would love to have that. Like energy, good heart.
The kiss of life.
That would be nice.
Yeah. What is the most unusual thing that you've ever eaten?
Oh my gosh. I had a snake. I had ants. 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 Yes, they are like pepper. Really, they look like pepper. I know. They actually taste funny. And yeah, that was kind of memorable, I would say. The snake and what is it? When I was in Peru, everybody eats their they like, gosh, I forgot the name of the little animals, but they like, in every home they have hundreds of them, and so when you go as a guest, it's their like delicious thing, and they cook it for you. They put it on a stick and they barbecue it, and you eat it. So that is kind of was interesting, very, very different.
But did you ever by chance eat a scorpion before?
No. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. No. But I've seen one.
Okay. I was going to the other day.
You were going to eat one the other day?
Really?
Yeah. They actually have some at the shop here in my town. So we'll see.
Wow.
We'll see.
What stopped you?
Honestly, I just haven't found the time, but I want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be back. I'm just going to pick up some scorpions.
How are you going to make it?
To be fair, it's at a candy shop though, and it's coated, but it's a real scorpion. So
okay,
could try it out. It'll be crunchy, I bet. But
so it's more of a dessert.
Yeah, but at least I could say I ate a scorpion. It's like.
Wow.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. Ants were interesting.
Yeah.
What is your biggest fear?
I think when I hear, sometimes when the water drips unnecessarily from the tap, sometimes, or when water is unnecessarily running, that sound and just preserving water. I don't know, it just bothers me. Or often also, especially in Europe, I don't see that in Los Angeles, but when I am in Europe, and you go out on the fresh air and just walking by and people are smoking. So that really bugs me. Really bugs me. And I wish there would be also, when it comes to the smog and the fumes from the cars, I wish that, that we look at our planet maybe in a different way. One day, there would be just fresh air and health. And so these kind of things, it really, really irritates me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope after what humans have done, I hope the planet can recover to some extent. So we'll keep our fingers crossed with that one.
Mm-hmm.
And very last question. What is the worst gift you've ever received?
Gift.
That
No
person's
gift.
going to be put on the spot now.
No
I gave you
gift.
that one.
Oh, there was some always jokes in Poland when we had it, but I don't know. Is it, they would bring you just for fun, kids. I mean, at school, they would hear, I have a gift for you, happy birthday, and they would bring you a bag of potatoes,
Oh, yeah. Classic.
And you just go, oh gosh, So it was supposed to be always a joke, and they want to see you laughing, but that was kind of our they would bring it for fun, but what was amazing, they bring it so beautifully wrapped, with these expensive ribbons and everything, and then when you're untie, you think, oh wow, oh la la, and then you go, all these potatoes there, like they smushed up.
Damn kids.
Go home, make some homemade French fries, man. I mean,
That's it. Yeah, jokes on them.
Frank. Yeah, but memorable ones.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Beata. Before we end off today's interview, do you have any current projects that you'd like to promote at this time, and which social media platforms can our listeners find you?
Oh, I am on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and I usually update if I'm working on something. I usually, because of NDAs and everything, I like this. But when I'm allowed to, I post it, and I'm very proud of that. So please check my social media. And I announce, I share, and if there's any requests, fans write to me, and I respond, and I love having fun with the fans. So I'm happy, when fans are intrigued by something, and I love that kind of communication and interaction. I welcome it.
We appreciate you so much.
100%.
Thank you.
And it's been a real pleasure. Well, I hope you have a wonderful day.
Well, thank you so much. And in Skarlet's voice, this was a great bloodbath.
Oh, wonderful.
It was great. It was delicious. So thank you so much for having me on your show. It was great. You guys are awesome.
You're very welcome.
Doing a
Pleasure's
great
ours.
job. Thank you so much again.
And there we have it, my friends. This has been another splendid opportunity that we're glad we took on. Me, Chris, along with many other fans, have our fingers crossed for the return of Skarlet's character very soon. Furthermore, if you haven't, I also implore you to read the Mortal Kombat X comics if you have not. Skarlet is also featured in here and plays an interesting part. It's nice to see that she is starting to come to the limelight and getting the recognition she deserves. Thanks once again for taking the time to tune in. It's been great. Leave your thoughts in the comments. What do you think of Skarlet? And are you excited to see Beata return as the famous blood magic mage? Okay, people, depending where you are, I hope you're staying warm. The holidays are fast approaching. It is almost Christmas. I hope you got your shopping done. And if you want to be a good sport, you gotta give said person something MK related. Because, let's face it, who doesn't love Mortal Kombat? Speaking of presents, we have a gift for you for our next episode. You're gonna love it. Trust us on this one. You're gonna want to tune in. But until that time, stay interactive, keep busy during the holidays, and give it all you got. I guess it wouldn't quite be the same without my final send-off. Have fun, stay safe, and
Stay flawless.